Welcome back, everybody, to Chasing the Rut, brought to you by the Wild Faith Podcast. My name is Evan Bungham, and tonight I am with a very special guest. We have Sam Melton in the house, and we also have my daughter who's in the background, which you might hear from time to time. But Sam, how are we doing tonight, man?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on. I know you got your hands full there with the kiddos, but I appreciate you guys having me on. And yeah, I'm doing great. Shot a nice big mature whitetail, and
he's just kind of big. He's not like just super big. He's just kind of big. No, right. He's really big.
Yeah, no, I'm still on cloud 9 from it. So yeah, that's all I've been thinking about here for the last few days is this buck and just the whole story and how crazy the things just went down. So I mean, I'm excited to share.
Yeah, it's yeah, I know you and I have kind of been in contact just a little bit, kind of back and forth as the season's kind of rolled on here these past few weeks, and we'll kind of get into all that. But man, talk about kind of a roller coaster of emotions, but with like a happy ending, which sometimes that doesn't happen. So I'm just going to shut up and I'm going to let you run with it from the beginning, break it down for us. But just kind of keying off just a little bit what Sam said here. This is super awesome story, kind of, happy ending, big buck, got to close it out. And yeah, all you, Sam.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, was just a crazy season, just a roller coaster of emotions, it felt like, and had a super good summer, just putting in a lot of work, shooting my bow, more than I ever have in my entire life, combined. So it was just like a really good practice, far shots, short shots, and just feeling like super confident in the setup and everything. And so was really excited to get out and, re-get my spots with some permission. And that's all I'm running on is just permission spots. And so that's just a blessing in itself to be able to have landowners that let me hunt and just build those relationships, and really, really appreciative of that. And so stopped at one of my spots, and I did get permission here the year before, but I did not get anything on cameras. Probably more of a middle of October spot, and just kind of put a camera out there too, and then didn't hunt it at all. Left a camera there, not a cellular or anything, so I didn't know what was happening. After my season last year, shot a pretty nice 8-pointer during the rut, and around just after gun season, I went back and checked the camera, and there was an absolute monster on there. And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I didn't even step foot on the property. Like, just kind of thought it wouldn't be that great, and yeah, just a monster. Probably 160-inch deer, 150s. 10-pointer. And I was like, wow, that
almost kind of like a Christmas present. Those days when you go through like old trail camera photos and you catch something that you didn't notice, like current time period, and you're just like, how in the heck did I miss that?
Oh yeah, I mean, it was actually really sweet because it was after the gun season. So I was like, well, the photo wasn't, but then after that, I had thrown out another camera just to see if I could catch this deer, and then I caught him again. And so I was like, okay, he's like through the gun season, like probably no one, late season bow hunting here. And so I felt pretty good. At least I just knew like, hey, there's mature bucks that are running through this property. So that just made me happy. So getting into this year, I stopped back out there, get permission, go put a camera up, and same thing, like nothing, a little fork, maybe a 6-point. I scrolled back through the photos, and I actually did see a 115 8-pointer, but nothing that I was really wanting to, set as like a quote unquote target buck. Sure. And so I just let the cameras go. And honestly, this year having a little guy and having a nice buck on some other properties, I just didn't even step foot on this property until October 7th. And I knew there had to be something on the beans, and I just thought, I don't know if my cameras are telling me everything. Like, you can't bank on the cameras all the time. Like, they're great. They're an awesome tool, but sometimes you just got to go and sit, like on a huge bean field. Like, you just got to go and watch. And actually, backtracking a little bit, I went there one night and I was like, I'm just going to try to scout the field. And I kind of went in there late, like probably 30 minutes left of light, and I'm sitting there walking across the bean field, and I scared off some does, and I'm like, balls, I am an idiot. Like, what am I doing? Like, who in their right mind goes out like a half hour before dark? And here I thought, well, if I just kind of creep along the edge of the woods and find a spot to sit, and I'll just glass. And yeah, that was just kind of dumb. I ended up just kind of turning around and walking out with like 10 minutes of light left anyways. And so that was dumb, but so I guess I was out there before October 7th. I don't know when that was, late September.
Sure.
Yeah, late September, but ended up going out on the Hunter's Moon. I had a weird situation with a bear, a couple bears, a few nights before on a different property that it's like about a mile walk back. And so that one shook me up kind of good. I ended up walking like, I don't know, 25 yards from like a 450-pound bear.
You had the trail camera photos to prove it.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Two huge bear, and you can see my headlamp walking in the background. And like on my way in, I just knew that like I saw a ton of corn knocked over, and I was like, this just does not make me feel good. I even say that in the videos that I'm taking with my phone. I tried to, each hunt, I try to do a little talking into the phone just to have something, before the hunt or after the hunt. And I was like, yeah, there's just going to be a bear. I know it. And walking out, I get 30 yards, and all of a sudden I hear a ton of crashing through the corn, and the hairs on my neck just stand up. And I was like, oh no, like I can't tell which way they're running. And thankfully they ran away. So after that, I put my music on like full blast on my speaker, and I just walked out with music on because I was like, I don't need to get attacked today.
Guns a-blazing.
Yeah, and that's probably the other thing. I should probably really, start carrying it, I guess. But yeah, so actually that's kind of why I started getting the bears on camera at that spot where I was targeting a nice buck, and that's kind of what moved me to this other spot. And so I went on October 7th, like I said. There was that Hunter's Moon. The pressure was really good. And everyone just said there's going to be a lot of deer movement. And so I went out, set up a stand, and was sitting, saw a little buck right before dark, or about 20 minutes to dark. And all of a sudden I look up the bean field, and I just see an absolute giant. He steps out at 70 yards, and I'm like, holy smokes, I have never seen this deer before. Part of me wondered if it was that buck from the year before, but looking at it closely, I'm really not sure. I'm not too convinced if it is or not. And similar frame, but just I don't know. And I just knew that's a giant, probably 160s.
Still with a decent amount of light left too.
There was actually, if he would have made his way quick enough, I mean, I could have probably taken a shot, with plenty of light left. And so I was like, I was just praying, like, come on, Lord, please bring him down my way. I actually had that other small buck that had worked his way to my right, and a couple does. So I thought he was going to, like, he had no reason not to just kind of turn and walk down towards me. Kind of surprised he didn't. And he just kind of came out and then went right up over the little hill the other way. And so
it was your first time getting a good look at him, though.
Oh yeah, I put have the Sig Zulu binoculars with the image stabilization, and they are just unreal. Those
are good binoculars.
They are so sick. I mean, like, one of the coolest tools I have in my pack, without a doubt. Like, to be able to whip
you're going to appreciate that out west this year.
Oh, that is like,
you don't even need a tripod. You don't even need a tripod.
No, it's so stable and smooth, and like I could sit there and count, every tine that he had. I did miss one because it kind of comes out forward and he's just so massive, but like I could see he had a split brow. I could see like everything on him. And I actually have the all-in phone case. So I just whipped that out, and like, probably not the smartest thing, but like I whipped the thing out, and I got a video of this buck on my phone. So then like I'm sending it to my cousins after the hunt, and I'm sending it to, a few close friends. I'm like, look at this giant that I just saw. Like, I don't know where this thing came from. I can't believe I had not sat here until, beginning of October. So I'm kind of like, what the heck am I doing? Like I should have been out here, probably could have had that thing killed, on the early season beans right away.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm not like heartbroken or anything. I'm excited, but I'm also like, I should have been hunting here a little bit harder, been smarter and checked it out at least. But so then the next night I go and I set a stand up just past where he came out at, probably would have been 20 yards past where he came out at in the other corner.
And are you just like mobile hanging banging right now at this point? Or are you just leaving permanents up?
Well, I'm leaving permanents up, but I'm going in each time with a new stand and new pegs, and I do not recommend it. Like I'm like, after that, I was like, I am not. Actually, after the first night sitting there, I'm like, I am not doing this again. Like, if I'm going to put up a stand, I'm going to put up a stand on
screw-in pegs.
Yep.
Oh man, old school.
Well, what's nice is I kind of, I'm kind of a monkey. So I only used 2 on the first time, 2 pegs, and I was able to get up there. And then the second time, I think I only used 3. So,
no kidding.
Not terrible, but also probably not the smartest either. Like I was just kind of really hanging onto the tree. And
sometimes you kind of got to be a monkey. Like I feel like there's those certain trees, and honestly, there's those trees too that are perfect where they have supporting limbs of where it's like I only need 1 stick. I don't need 3 sticks, and you can go in with half the gear.
Yes, which was really nice. Like these trees were perfect to get up.
Nice.
But anyways, I set that stand up and I'm just kind of, dripping sweat. And I'm like, this just sucks. I'm not hanging a stand and hunting the same night. That's what I told myself after that October 7th hunt. Well, here I am the very next day, walking in with a new stand, new pegs, and going up again and setting a stand, and didn't really see anything. Went there, waited till the wind was right again. A few days later, saw like a doe and a small buck. But as I walked in from that, I walked in a different way to that spot, and I saw like 9 scrapes along that wood edge. And so I was like, oh, this, no wonder he kind of worked his way this way. He was going over that hill to check these scrapes. And so I was like, yeah, he's going to have to be coming back out this way. I made a mock scrape. And as I walked in the one night, I saw some really nice tracks in that scrape. And so I was like, okay, that's got to be him. And again, saw a couple does and walked out, nothing, no bucks. So
at this point, how many days in are you hunting this deer?
This would probably have been, I think I hunted that stand only 3 times.
Okay.
And the stand before once. I think 4 times that I've been out on this property. And so, and I felt really good each time. Like the beans are still up, which was kind of surprising. I thought they would be cut. The neighboring properties were cut. So I was really thankful that they weren't cut. I think that really kind of helped them stay out there a little bit longer. I'm not, super smart on how long until they're in the beans or not, but I just figured if they're standing, it's probably still pretty hot. Maybe that, a few days after they get cut, they kind of spread them around a little bit depending on how good the farmer is. But I figured it'd be good.
Did you have that feeling, every time that you went out the woods that you potentially were going to have a crack at that deer?
100%. And what's actually funny is my brother, I put something on my story as I was getting out, and I put, tonight's the night or something like that. And I was shaking at school that day. Like I literally thought I was going to kill that buck.
What's going on?
Oh yeah. I told him too. I was like, yeah, I saw a nice buck last night, guys, like a really good one. I'm going to go out tonight again. I think I'm going to get him. And, they're all cheering me on it. They're awesome. Funny, but no, I put that on my story, and then I didn't even realize. And then I got to the spot and I put it on my story again. Tonight's the night. So then my brother texted me. He's like, man, that's really going to be the night. You've put it on there twice now. And I didn't realize that, but I'm going to backtrack actually now and kind of, early on in the season, second weekend of the whitetail opener, went out in a totally different area, about an hour away actually with my dad. And we had a really close encounter with a pretty decent buck. And I had taken a shot, probably not the best opportunity. And we looked pretty good, and even had a family friend come out with a drone and just couldn't get anything on him. Went the next morning and tried again. And that one was kind of heartbreaking. But but I knew I didn't really hit it good. I hit it pretty far back and high. So it was like, unless I hit that artery back there, I was
Yeah.
like, I know I screwed up. Like that's, which is just that it hurts because it's like, what the heck? I practice, and actually right before that, he ducked my arrow. So it was just a whole ordeal. And I'm like, what the heck? And I went through all the checklists in my mind, and it really just goes to show that, like, with all the practice, with all the right tools, like, you still just need a little bit of luck,
Mm-hmm.
and you really do. And so,
100%.
I mean, I felt horrible. My dad, he felt really bad for me too. We actually thought he was one of the bigger ones, and I think that one showed up on camera shortly after and didn't have any wound marks on it. So, not exactly sure which buck it was, but that was kind of a heartbreaker. You just, when you get to a point where you get a drone out, it's a nice
Yeah.
deer, and that was heartbreaking. But kept at it, kept practicing even more, and had another chance at a really nice buck. It definitely would have been my biggest buck, and that one, I watched him make a scrape for 20 minutes at 20 yards, and we just had brush, or we did not have that way clear.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, that's where he came, and he ended up walking back and forth, and my wind was going right to him. And I'm like, that's probably why he didn't work his way to the other scrape. He just knew something was up, but like didn't spook, like, which is so weird because
It's
I had
weird.
does there, and they all blew like a half hour before, and so I thought my hunt was done, but I was like, well, I might as well stay till dark now,
Yeah.
and just yeah, it was weird.
Was
Um,
it swirling at all in there, or was it just staying like a just a consistent, or was it like a stagnant wind?
it was kind of stagnant, but like the wind direction was going that way, but it was not a very hard wind, and I don't know if it's because of where he came out, like it was going maybe over him a little bit, but maybe he was catching it a little
Yeah.
bit. Um, Not exactly sure, but he ended up kind of coming towards me, then working away, and then coming back towards me, and then working away. And he came through
Just
this
teasing
little
you.
opening. Oh, he definitely was. He came through a little opening at about 18 yards, but he was quartering to me, and I was like, he stopped and he turned around, and I was like, if he goes back through that opening, like, I'm feeling pretty confident,
Mm-hmm.
and he did, and he just was stepping out of that. He turned around, and then he's just stepping out of that opening, and the tree was kind of in the way, um, and it really just makes me mad because I knew he was a little bit forward. I just moved at the last second. You make those split second decisions in the stand that can make or break a shot, or
Mm-hmm.
make noise or whatever. And it really just bothers me because it's like, man, had I shot 2 inches back or an inch back, that buck probably goes 60 yards and tips
Yep.
over. And I had shot, and I hit him, and it was pretty loud. So I guarantee I had to hit the shoulder. Nothing else makes sense. No arrow, no blood.
Oh, really?
And
I didn't know
it's
he didn't
just the
have an arrow.
weirdest thing. And I watched the Luminac. He went through some really thick brush, and so I was like, "Oh my gosh! Like, I'm gonna hear him crash," and
Yeah,
I never
pile drive him.
did. Yeah, and there was other deer around, so it's hard to hear just him. That's kind of what made it tough. So then we didn't even really have a great direction on where he went, and then to go back, we invited over the family and the cousins, and I had a pretty big crew, and really excited because I just, I watched right where my
Oh
Luminac
yeah.
hit, and I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
shoulder shots are so deceiving.
They are, yeah, and especially from being up above, I was like, you know what, that had to have gotten perfect, and to not have any blood, to not have any arrow,
Did you at
no,
least get like an inkling on like penetration, or no, or didn't get to see that?
I had thought it went through pretty decent, and then as soon as I hit him, he was running through like crazy thick
Yeah,
stuff.
like
So
he got smacked.
yeah, and so the
Yeah.
fact that the arrow didn't break off, I'm like, oh, it had to have been in him pretty good, and
Yeah.
but I just couldn't really tell because he was, like I said, he was already kind of on the front of that opening. It really, I'm kind of shocked. I really don't even know how that happened, but the only conclusion I can come to is that it had to have hit that shoulder because
Yeah.
we had my family and went out there the next day too, and called up the drone guy again, and just like, oh, that's heartbreaking. Like, I've I really want to find a deer if I hit it, especially when you
Oh,
think it's
yeah.
a nice shot. Like the first one that was definitely, it was just bad placement and whatever. But this one, I'm like, no, this is,
Did you find
it
any blood?
zero blood and still no arrow. I went back even at dark the one day because I was like, maybe I'll see the Luminoc, and
Mm-hmm.
still couldn't find anything. And I mean, we grid searched the whole property. It really is mind boggling. And like, I go back to, you do all that practice, and now I'm kind of depressed. Like, I'm like, okay, I have shot and shot and shot, and I have
Yeah.
practiced, and I feel so comfortable. And I go through the checklist in my mind, and I was calm. I stayed really calm, and I'm still just like, why? Like, and I kind of had that like, oh Lord, like you're bringing me these nice mature
Mm-hmm.
bucks, and I'm just like, how am I screwing this up? And yeah, that would kind of hurt, but I went back out and I just kept practicing. And the next, I'm taking shots and I'm just like hitting right where I want. It's just like, man, am I just putting them, in the wrong spot, and just really messes with you for sure.
It's amazing how, I mean, I've kind of was in this, I mean, I still am. I need to break my curse this year, but like the last 3 years for me has kind of been the same belt. I've lost 3 of my biggest deer, all the shoulder shots, and 2 of them
Yeah,
being high shoulder shots, which I know the deer survived, but it's hard because it's like you get your hopes up, you think that you smack them, and then just, trail dries up, can't find them, can't find an arrow, whatever that might be. But for like psychologically though, I mean, when we talk just a little bit, it's a hard one to go through, but it's really hard to pick it back up and to get back out there and do it again. And for the people, I think that will be the naysayers or just say, well, you're taking unethical shots. Well, at the end of the day, it's like, it's hunting and those things happen, and it takes time to callous that, craft of kind of being a killer, of where it's like you can always put it in the pocket. But the craziest thing, like you were just saying it then too, it's like it's a game of split seconds. Anything can happen in a
exactly.
split second and completely change it. So kudos to you once again for being a true thoroughbred diehard and just keeping at it.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you can change it in a split second, and it really just goes to show like that you make so many choices go in, and it is always just so fast. Like
Mm-hmm.
the hunt, and when it happens, I mean, it is so fast. Even with the buck that I ended up getting, it is all so crazy fast. And yeah, I was pretty shocked after that one, and just like, my family, of course, some guys were, they're by then they're like, oh yeah, I don't, like, I don't know if I want to, my dad's like, I don't know if I want to have you go to, this primo spot or whatever. And I'm like, I get it. Like, I don't want to,
Yeah.
go, screw up again. Like and that hurts because I'm like, Dad, I don't know. Like, I've put in so much practice. I just don't get it. Like, I don't know. And so, and I've shot deer before, and I've hunted my entire life, and I've shot, I don't know, 6 bucks with a bow or something like that, or maybe even a few more than that. So like, I feel pretty good, but it's
And that's the whole point. It's like, it isn't like this is your first rodeo. It can happen
right.
to anybody. It could happen to someone who's shooting their first buck, or it could happen to someone that's killed 100 bucks,
Yep. Yeah, no, exactly. And that's where I'm like, okay, I just got to keep my head up. And honestly, in the grand scheme of things, like, I know this seems like a huge deal, and it can sometimes take over our worlds and stuff. And my dad just kind of said, he's like, you know what? Like, at the end of the day, we're hunting, like, having awesome opportunities. We're seeing big bucks, and like,
Amen.
and the camaraderie is there. Like, all the guys who came over were at the fire and stuff, and like, and we just like, it was still a great time. And you never know. Think just before that, like, Charlie Kirk stuff, and just you start
It's
putting
wild.
things into perspective, and you're like, you know what, like, thank you, Lord, just for an opportunity to go after
Amen.
these deer. And
Hmm.
yeah, you screw up, you make mistakes, and that's bow hunting. And I've heard it, from quite a few guys actually this season, and gals, this season. And so that's kind of like, yeah, we're human, and I know a lot of times we're quick to judge, especially with just the hunting
Oh
world in
yeah.
general. But I mean, show some grace, and
Keyboard
things can
warriors.
happen. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. And it sucks to share, and like, you know, I don't like it at all. But like I said, yeah, I mean, I just kind of kept my head up, kept practicing, and then, shortly after, a couple weeks later, that was October 7th, went into that hunt. Um, Now I'll get into the night that I shot this buck. So Friday night, I was like, man, it feels pretty good. Tonight, it was really warm though. Like Friday night was probably the warmest night of the week.
Yeah.
So I really wasn't like, I did not have nearly that same confidence like I did a week before that. And so, but I was like, you know what? I just got to keep giving myself opportunities. Like the more you go and sit in the woods and you play the wind right. And that's the thing. The wind was right. The wind was perfectly going out into the beans, which is great because it's not going into the woods where they're probably bedding. It's not going, south to where they might come out of the woods and work their way up to me. And
before you dive into it, I don't want to interrupt you here, but just kind of paint the picture. I don't want you to tell me where it is, but just paint the picture of like what you're hunting. Are you hunting? Is it a big timber? Is it little timber? Is it ag mixed with timber from what it sounds like?
This is a lot of ag land here, and actually the landowner really does not have any woods. I mean, a really small chunk, and I'm not really even that close to there.
Sure.
But there's kind of a slough and a really, I've walked in it, but it's really not that thick of water. Like you could have regular muck boots on and you're fine. But then it gets into like really thick woods, but not anything like huge. Just a lot of real thin, thick woods.
Sure.
And I'm not very good with the plants, but there's like, I had a doe actually that night that I shot my big buck at like maybe 10 yards in the woods, and I lost her like 10 times.
Like high stem count.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Thick.
So, they're definitely coming out of there. But yeah, big open field. I'm on the beans and corn behind me, corn to the north. I mean, just like pretty big egg land. And so with just little spots of woods. And so that's kind of just describe the area that I'm on. And I'm right back on the back of his property. To describe the landscape, I mean, I'm sitting on a big bean field. I guess I don't even know how many acres it is. But big enough. And there's actually kind of a really small, short tree line that comes down the middle.
A little bit of topography too.
Oh yeah. It's kind of, I don't know what the elevation is. Not much. I mean, it's really not that much, but enough to where it's just kind of a sweet property. And so, but that little, I don't know how tall they are, probably 10 feet tall, brush that kind of goes out along the entire bean field, kind of splits it, and then it stops like 20 yards from where my stand is. So I kind of set up right there, hoping that funnels deer through there. And actually, I thought about setting a ground blind up like on the end of that, but I don't know. It's hard to really brush in a ground blind good enough where you feel comfortable. But so I set the stand there, super comfortable stand, kind of leans back too. So I'm just like almost in a recliner.
Relaxing.
But I get in there really early. Fridays we get out early from school, and so like I'm in there early for me was like probably 4:15 or something. I was in there like I was like, man,
left.
Yeah, I was like, man, this is kind of wild. Usually I'm kind of pushing it, but got in there, and middle of the hunt, I had a doe kind of like right in front of me in the really thick stuff on the neighbors, and I was like, yeah, I don't know what she's doing, just kind of moseying around, and nothing really happens. I'm like, this is probably not a great night, but at least my wind's good, so I'm not gonna jack anything up too much. I did have that really nice buck show up a few times now on this camera that's probably 60, 70 yards down from me. And so I was hoping that he'd be, I knew he was in the area, but he's showing up, 3 a.m., 4 a.m.
Sure.
A couple times. And so I don't know if he's going to show it in daylight, but I'm just, like I said, I'm putting myself in the opportunity where if he does, at least I got a chance. And I think that's really, I try to look at pressure. I try to look at, the temperatures and
do you recall what it was that night?
For a wind?
for
or
like
pressure.
wind, temperature, pressure, kind of a gamut?
It was probably like 70 degrees almost. I think it
It
was like
was warm.
68 maybe. It was warm last Friday, and so that's what kind of made me nervous. But um, we had a west wind, and so it was going right out into the beans, and so I just felt really good about that. And so that's probably mostly kind of why I made the decision to hunt
Yeah.
there. Um, and actually, it's more even a kind of a southwest
Hmm.
wind. And anyways, as I'm sitting there, it's getting a lot closer to dark. So now I'm just kind of bored and standing up. Anyways, I like to just try to stand up that last little bit, even though I don't really want to. And I look across the field, and there's some does. Probably, I think there's 4 does that came out. They're probably 200 yards across the field, almost like where I walk in from, which is kind of funny to see them.
Yeah.
I walk probably right by them when they're in there bedded down or whatever. Um, but they slowly just make their way towards me along the edge of the beans in the woods, and they come to 20 yards right under me, and they're walking, and they're going to cross in between that little gap in between me and that the end of those trees, or that brush area. And so they stop at right under me. They're looking up at me. My stand's not very high. I mean, 10 feet, uh, 12 feet, I don't know, like pretty low. They're
Yeah.
looking at me. Thankfully, like they don't bust me. I just stay still, and they kind of keep creeping about 10 yards past where I'm sitting. And as soon as they got downwind of that, their heads go up, noses are sniffing, and I'm like, dang
Oh
it,
boy.
this is yeah, this is not good. Like right, prime time. And um, yeah, end up getting spooked, and running back the opposite way down to my right.
Were they
And
were they blowing too?
no, and
No.
thankfully they did not blow. That probably is what saved me and got me this buck. Is they did not blow. They just turned around, and they kind of just jotted off that way, maybe 50, 60, 80 yards. And
Okay.
they right before they did that, I saw the one doe looking up to my left, which is just up the wood line, to where I set that other stand, and where I put a mock scrape, and where he had come out on October 7th. And so I'm like, I don't see anything, no body or nothing. So I look up there, and with my binos, and I just see the big rack, and I knew exactly right away that it was him. And I can barely see him because the hill kind of just barely crests, and he's hitting the scrape, that the mock scrape that I made. And it's like 6 o'clock, 6:15 maybe. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like not only is he like here, like this is like he's got plenty of time to work to me.
Yeah.
And so he sees those deer running that way, and in my head I'm like, you sucker, like I should have been sitting in that stand. Like the fact that I didn't
How
sit in
far
that
is that stand
stand.
from the stand you're in right now?
125 yards.
Oh boy. Yeah.
So well, I mean, that's how far he was. I ranged to the
Yeah.
edge of that woods. That was 125. My stand's probably 100 yards.
Oh boy.
And so I'm thinking, like, you dummy, like he is 30 yards making a scrape. And but it is kind of down. He would have been downwind right there. So I'm not sure if he would have
Yeah.
came out if I was sitting in that stand. But either way, I'm thinking that really sucks. And so all of a sudden, he sees those does run the opposite way, and he just looks up, and he's like, I got to check it out. And he just comes like on a beeline, just walking real fast, like just walking right to, like he just wanted to come and see. I don't know if he thought there was a small buck, or if he just thought, just come check things out. There's other deer. And so I didn't even have to grunt or do anything. And
No
he came.
kidding.
I just get ready. I get my rangefinder, and in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to range find one spot. And like, that's watching where he's coming down the bean row. Like, I think he's just going to keep that, and he's going to work his way inside right where they were standing and down towards them. So I'm thinking, I'm going to shoot him as soon as he's probably like 30 yards.
Yeah.
Maybe he keeps walking. I get him at like 20, which would be ideal, because then he'd be perfectly broadside.
Yeah.
And he just keeps coming, doesn't even stop. I can hear him grunting the whole way. And so I just range the one spot. I didn't really cut that side great, but I had enough openings, and so I ranged the one spot, and it's like 28. Then the second time I range it, it's like 33, and I'm like, oh, I don't like this, I don't like this, but it's like on beans, and it's like you just like
Yeah.
it can catch behind it or it can catch in front of it. Like there's no like good landmark to range on an
Are
open
you
bean
running a
field.
slider sight, or do you have like fixed pins, or what's the sight you're running?
I have the HHA 3-pin.
Okay.
Is it the Nitrix?
So you got a dedicated 3-pin setup that you can
Yep.
slide. Yeah.
Yep. And so I have 20, 30, 40, and then if I need to, I have worked it down, and my last pin just being 50.
Okay.
And honestly, I mean, with shooting, I've been putting them in a pretty good pocket. And so, but obviously I like those 20,
Yeah.
30. I mean,
We all do.
even 30, even 30 sometimes I'm like, yeah, it's got to be right. But, so he's working, and I just range that spot. And like I said, I get two different ranges. And then I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll range like the top end of that little opening and like the bottom end. So I was just like, no. And it was like 37 to the kind of the top end of that opening. And I'm glad I ranged it, because I put the rangefinder down. I did not want to be like with that big of a buck, and just the way things have
Monkeying
gone. I'm like,
around.
I don't want to be monkeying around.
Yeah.
Like I'm putting the rangefinder away. If he works out, like I can kind of guess based on that one range, and that's what I'm going to do, which is a bold move, because he stops at 40 yards, or what I would assume to be 40 yards. So really not far from where my opening is. And I maybe could have shot there. Wouldn't have felt great about it, just with, I don't know exactly where the arrow would have flown. If it really would have flown true to where my pin was, then it would have been fine. But like, if it flies a little bit lower coming out of my bow, I could have hit a twig or something. So I didn't feel great. And I was like, please keep walking. And he lifts his head and he looks up and he's looking around, and I just see the mass on him, and he's just sniffing the air. And that's right where my wind's going now. So he's like almost to where those does are, and downwind now of me. And I did not like that. That made me really nervous. I'm like, he's going to bolt. He's just going to stop and turn the other way. And he ends up, I was like, just please, Lord, help him to take a few more steps. And he did. He took a few more steps, but he kind of turned. So right now he's kind of quartering to me as he's walking, and he kind of turns out away from me. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, oh crap, he's gonna loop. He's gonna kind of do like a weird bubble, and so I pull back, and I kind of crouch. I just barely crouched down, so that way it kind of opened up that opening a little bit. And I met, and he probably took maybe 3-4 steps forward based off where I thought he was at 40. So I'm thinking he's about 36, 37 yards, kind of right at the top of that opening.
Sure.
I just crouched just enough to make it easier, and I go, Matt, and he stops. And when he did, he turned and like looked at me. So he's kind of quartering hard, and I really don't love that shot. And so I just really put it on where I thought would be vitals, and I let it fly. And as soon as I hit him, he just turns and does the biggest mule kick. And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, okay, that is a good sign. And I mean,
sign.
Feet straight out, and I'm like, oh, that's great. But in my head, with the experiences that I've had, I'm thinking I shot a little bit more forward. So I'm like, oh, like in my head, I see the mule kick, which is really, really good. But I just like saw the more forward shot, and I'm like, I just hit the shoulder again. I just hit the shoulder on a monster. And so I don't even really know what to think as he ran towards the woods, and then he ran straight up kind of where he came from, and I saw the arrow sticking out about 4 or 5 inches. And so I knew, I was like, okay, yeah, that's pretty good with the mule kick, and the arrow's in that far, and I'm shooting.
You're saying it was buried with only 4 or 5 inches left.
Yeah, to the luminance.
That's good.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, really good.
I was thinking it's the other way around. I'm like, well, I mean, that's kind of good.
No, I would have been heartbroken, and I probably would have hung it up after that. But no, he 4 inches to the knock and to the luminoc, and so that was great. I could see really well, and he jumps into the woods, and as soon as he jumps in the woods, I just hear crash, 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 and then nothing. And so like I'm just like, I think I got him. Like I'm like the Luke Bryan, like, is he down?
Is he down?
Is he down? And I'm like, oh man, I'm praying that he is. I'm really like still kind of thinking I hit the shoulder, but like I know that I got a ton of penetration.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling pretty good. But just like I said, with the year it's been, I'm like, I just can't get myself too worked up. But I called my dad right away, and I just stay silent because like where he crashed is probably like 60 yards from my stand. That's it, and that's where it was. And I called my dad and let him know, and I call my other buddy, I called my wife, I called my other buddy, like I'm texting the family group chat. They all know which one I hit because I sent that picture to them earlier. And so they're all like, all right, yep, they're kind of, my dad's making the clan, getting them all together because they're back in up north an hour, and so they're getting ready to kind of come down. I want everyone there again. Like I'm feeling way better this time. Like hearing a crash, seeing the penetration, and just knowing that he mule kicked like he did. I'm feeling really good. And but again, I was like, I'm just gonna stay in the stand and just like make sure I don't hear him get up. Make sure that I get down when it's like dark, so he just doesn't like. I'm gonna get down so slow.
You didn't sit all night though, did you?
No, never. I'm never doing that again. Yeah, I got down so slow. I mean, just ridiculous. And so I get out, and I walk, a way that I actually never walk in. But I did not want to walk in through the beans, and even just that noise of walking through the beans, I didn't even go check the blood. I knew, like, nope, the blood's still going to be there when we come back. Like, I'm walking out this way, and like I said, I was trying to be the most silent that I could. I just did not want anything to go wrong. And so I get out to my truck, and this is where the fun really starts. So, as soon as I shoot him or see him, my heart's racing. All the way to the shot, after the shot, and I stop and I talk to the landowner. I call him because it was dark. I just didn't know if I should go and knock on the door. And they love me, pretty good relationship there. And so I call him up, and I'm like, hey, like I just shot one. I just want to let you know, like, probably going to be coming back out here in a couple hours, and I'm going to have a few of my cousins and my dad. And so there's going to be quite a few headlamps, and I parked right by their house, and they're, got windows out to see the field. And so I just didn't want them freaking out. And so, I'm, trying to do the right thing. And in my mind, just like, hey, I'm just going to let them know. Landowner's super awesome, super nice guy. He really wants to try to be helpful. And so he's like, well, like if you shot him back there, like maybe talk to the landowner so you can drive in on their trail that goes back there. And because it's a farm trail, and like in my head, I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to do that. And, but I'm like, I respect what the landowner's got to say. And like, he knows the neighbors, and, decent. And so I'm like, all right. So I go and talk to the neighbors, across the road, and no one's there. TV's on, but like no one comes to the door. I knock again. No one comes to the door. Well, my buddy actually has he has not permission. He has the phone number of the landowner, and to ask about previous, like for turkey hunting or whatever. And so I call her up, and I'm like, hey, I'm a teacher and bow hunter, and these people let me hunt, and they're your neighbor to the east, and I shot a deer, and it went probably 20 yards onto your guys' property, and I heard it crash, so I know it's right there. And she's like, well, I leased that out, and not for deer hunting, for farming. And so I better reach out to the farmers and see if they're okay with it. In my head, I'm like, okay, this is
what are Wisconsin regs for that? Do you have, like, because I know in Minnesota legally you can pursue an animal without a weapon.
Okay, and I don't know exactly what it is, but I do know that we had another person that my family's friends with, and the guy did not let them recover it. and
Oh,
the
really?
warden was even there with them, and they could see the deer. Talk about stupid.
Talk
I
about
mean,
stressful for
stressful
you right now.
for me. Yeah, because in my mind, I'm thinking the same way you probably are, where I'm like, well, I mean, I don't care if the landowner says no. Then I'll call the DNR and I'll tell
Yeah.
them, hey, I heard it crash right there, and we'll go in to get it.
Yeah.
And my dad's like, no, like just talk to her and see who the farmers are. Like, we won't go that route yet. And so I call, like I was on the phone with her, and I'm like, okay, yep, if you could send me their number, like that'd be great. And so actually, she hasn't sent me their number or anything. She's like, I'll get back to you. So now I'm like, well, when? Like, and I didn't even think about saying that. I just hung up, you know?
Oh no.
So I'm like, it's been a half hour. I'm like, I'm on my way home. My dad's like, I just text the group chat. I'm like, hey, like, not great. I don't know if we're going to be able to go after him, and at least tonight.
Yeah.
And so dad's like, well, we're all waiting here and an hour away, and like, just, you know, he's kind of freaking out now too, because I mean, we all know this is a giant, and
Yeah.
and in my head, like, dude, the worst of the worst, just like, you just don't want the worst of the worst to happen. And so I'm starting to freak out. Spend 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And so I call the lady back up. Hey, like, just, you know, with coyotes and stuff like that, like, I just want to check in, see if you were able to get a hold of the people that lease it. And she said, I did send them your number, and they're going to call you or whatever. And as I'm talking to her, I get a phone call from the people. So, hey, sorry, like they are calling me right now. So I answer the phone, and uh, this about broke me. She gets on, and I'm like, hello? No one steps foot on our property. No one hunts our property. And if any of our farmers see anyone out there, they will call the DNR immediately. Okay. My heart just sinks, man. Like, I get goosebumps thinking about it, because now what I've been kind of like all of a sudden freaking out about and fearing, now it's reality. Now I'm thinking like, holy smokes, like this just got freaking real. And right after she says that, just this one time, we will allow foot only access only. And you cannot have a truck. There will be no tires on the property, no truck or four-wheeler. And you better do it quick. and you gotta, yeah, exactly. And you need to call us when you're out of the property.
And we're talking 60 yards, right?
20 yards, 60 yards from where my stand was on the neighbors that I have permission is where I'm sitting. 60 yards is where we ended up finding them, 20 yards off the fence line. Oh, so I'm like, thank you so much. You know, I understand. And, you know, when you get people trespassing through a lot and whatever, I'm sure they've had a lot of issues. And so I understand. Like, I can see her perspective of, okay, if I had people constantly going through my property without permission and doing that, yeah, you get on edge real quick. And I can't blame her for that. Now, do I think it's crazy? 100%. If she wouldn't have let me, but like, I understand. I can see it. And so I say, hey, you know what? I really appreciate you letting me recover this deer, and we'll be in there quick. Just to clarify, you want me to call you? I said, we're probably going to go out, you know, in an hour. Just to clarify, which probably shouldn't have asked any questions after this. I probably should have just hung up the phone and I got the yes and go. But you want me to call you back at this number when we're out? And she's like, well, you can just text me your name and that you're out. And I was like, okay, that sounds good. I will do that. Hung up the phone. I'm at my house. I'm cleaning out my truck, and like an idiot, I somehow dial her number while I'm just like holding my phone, cleaning stuff out. Oh, dude, I look down and it's like maybe 5 seconds into the call. That's it. But like, I just hung up. I didn't even. I was like, I'm not gonna talk or anything. I just hung
Hello?
up.
Hello?
Yeah, I just hung up and never got a text from him or another call back. And so I wasn't gonna call back to explain myself and just have the chance of them saying no.
Yeah.
So I just hung up and we went and the family met us pretty close to the area. I just didn't want everyone there, and so just a bunch of cars, especially parking by the landowner's house, and we go back there and we get to where I was. Poor grandpa, like he's 77 maybe. I should probably know that. Sorry, grandpa, but he's a little bit older, and he's like, "Well, how far is this walk?" And I'm like, just a few hundred yards. And no, I was like, it's probably like 600, like maybe more, probably not more than that. It's a long ways back, and I did feel kind of bad about that because he's kind of holding us up, not holding us up, but he's taking a little bit slower, and like I do feel bad, and I don't need my grandpa having a heart attack coming back, but I'm like at the same time I'm like, Grandpa, you got to be here.
Want to see him? Yeah,
you got to be with us. We're not leaving you back. So we get there, and immediately we find blood right where I heard a deer run when we got there, which really made me nervous, but I think it was just another doe.
Sure.
And we find blood on the beans, find more blood. There's blood on both sides, spraying everywhere, good red blood. And we get 40 yards up the field edge, and we find the Luminoc busted off right before he jumped into the woods. Perfect red blood on there. Step foot into the property now, and there's blood everywhere on the tree above us, like above our heads. So I'm like, oh, this is good. Like that's an artery shot. Like this is great. And we see an eye as we're shining the lights. So we all stop. Oh, this is not good. And we're like, but it's not moving. Like I kind of slowly made my way up. And it was just like maybe from a past hunter or something. They had like those pins in the trees.
Tacks. Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, okay, I can breathe again. I can shake things out. And then I walk up another, I don't know, 10 yards, and I'm like, I see his body, and I'm like, guys, we got him. And we got him. And oh man, it was nothing like I've had ground shrinkage before. And it was like ground growth. I mean, it's
honestly, it's the best feeling in the world, where all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, it's bigger than I thought it was.
Yeah. Oh, it was amazing. Just picking that thing up. And actually, I think my dad kind of beat me to it and quick grabbed up the rack. And I was like, oh, I just want to, lift it up for the first time and just get that feel. But no, I was so happy to have my family there, and at
least you had an army that drag it out to get it off that property to celebrate.
He was 225 pounds dressed. So I'm guessing probably around 260 that he weighed.
Unit.
Really excited. I think I'm going to send in the teeth and see how old he is. And so, we're all freaking out. I mean, everyone's just like, congratulations, Sam. Like, this is so awesome. He had another sweet tine that like came off his like base. That's really cool. It's so sweet when you see deer like that, and then like on camera, and then like even in person, and then you actually get to hold them. It's just like, it's so cool. Like if you get that experience, like chasing new deer is obviously super fun. You get a new buck that runs through, but like being able to like know what he looked like and just imagine how big he is, and then just like being there. I mean, he had 6-inch bases. I mean, huge.
Jeez.
And so it was awesome. And we lived up that moment, all right, let's get off this property. Like, let's get off. As soon as we got off, I text landowner my name and sent that, hey, we're off the property. And that was that. I haven't heard anything back from them, but got it back on ours. And the guy didn't want me dragging it on the beans or anything because the farmer hadn't cut it. And so thankfully I brought like a sled, and we just kept it like right on the edge, but it definitely made the walk and drag a lot longer. So we had to go all the way around. And then there's kind of like I'm going to say a peninsula, kind of just like a peninsula of trees that we're going around, and back, like hooked back again, because it's just too thick to go through. But Yeah, that was a fun drag out, just the guys, and I got a sweet video of us like dragging him past the camera, and I had it all on
Nice.
video mode, and so I mean it's just awesome. I mean you got your brothers there and cousins, and it's just that's a great time, and so that was super cool.
Love it. Yeah, that's what it's all about. And it's, the nice thing, the thing about it too, of where it's like, yeah, that drag might have sucked, but at the same time, it only made it better because, which is awesome, is you brought everybody that you love with you, that's out there, that's cheering you on as you're doing it, as much as
Yes.
as hard as it probably was.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, it was awesome, and like we just had a great time, and thankfully like with that many guys too, you can trade off and
Yeah.
whatever. So it really was not bad at all. Do it again in a heartbeat for sure. But yeah, we get him back to the truck, and we take him to stopped at the KT. We
Oh
wanted
yeah.
to get him under some lights and just kind of, all right, let's put the tape to this thing. Like we've all kind of, as we've talked and walked now for an hour, we're like, let's see how big he is, and which score is whatever, but it's also it's so fun to guess on
Oh
cameras, and
yeah.
then figure it out. And so
What is it
we,
actually?
we all took a guess at the gas station there, and I think most of us were in the 160s,
Okay.
including myself. I was hoping to be higher 60s, and I was really hoping like it'd be like, gosh, it would be sick if he was over 70.
Yeah.
And so I guessed, and we all guessed, and my grandpa, like 13 years ago, he shot a 168 non-typical, like kickers everywhere, up north in Spooner
Nice.
area, and that was like, yeah, that was like in the paper and everything, and
Yeah.
that was, yeah, like I said, 168. And so my uncle, he scored it, and he's pretty like firm on scoring stuff too. So I'm already like, I'm not gonna get the little
Not
eighths
gonna
of
get
an
the
inch
extra
here and there.
couple inches.
Yeah, right. And so we all guess, and he's like, Dad, what was your buck? And Grandpa's like 168, and he looks at me, and he's like,
Did that one gross out at 168, or is that a net 168? It doesn't
I
matter.
think gross. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think gross. Just with a non-typical, and he looks at me and he's like, Sam, you just missed it. And he's like, 172 and 3/8. And I kind of freak out because I'm like, holy smokes. Like, I did not expect him to go over 170.
Yeah.
And so I just turned, and I like pump fist towards my grandpa. I think he thought maybe I was going to hit him, and he kind of like jumped back. I felt bad. And then I hugged my dad, and I was like, wow, like I just killed a giant. And, if you would have told me, like after I shot or hit that other one, like if you would have told me like, yeah, like, the Lord's got something better in store, like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. Like, I don't think it gets better than that last buck. And, like, don't doubt God. Don't like, I mean,
Never doubt him out.
I mean, to have opportunities at now, like three good bucks, and to see, for an average hunter to see, three good bucks or one good buck, and now
Yeah.
I've seen two. I've had opportunities at two. Now I've had opportunities at three, and to get it done on that third one is like, wow, I have been extremely blessed, and I'm just so happy that finally I made it count, and now I got my family here, and we're just jaw jacking and talking about score and just like having a grand time. So like that was awesome. I did not want that night to end, and
Yeah.
it was sweet. But like I said, I from the moment that I seen the deer come out to that moment, and even a while after at my house with him, with that buck, like my heart just was on, like just beating so fast, and like just the pressure of like the whole thing with the neighbors, just worrying about the shot,
Mhm.
knowing it's a giant, like wanting to find him. Now I got him, and I don't need somebody to come into my yard and steal him. Like I was just like, I put him in the
Talk about
garage.
An adrenaline jump. You're sleeping with him with the sleeping bag in the garage.
Yeah, exactly. I did have him like out in the yard for a little bit, like as I was like editing a few pictures. I was like,
Yeah.
I can't, I probably shouldn't do that. Like I put him into the garage, like got him out of the back of my truck by myself, which with a huge deer, 260 pounds was not easy.
No.
And,
Well, you had to clean him at that point.
no, we gutted him out.
Okay.
No, say 225, but
Yeah.
we gutted him out there.
That's like carrying a
Still
grown man.
huge. Yes. But yeah, I mean, then thankfully one of my good buddies, Caleb, stood behind the camera, and he came down the next morning real early, and we just got some awesome content.
Sweet
like I
stuff.
put a bunch of ice bags in him, like obviously like took care of the meat, like wanted that to be great, like but I really wanted to get some good pictures. I mean, this could be the biggest deer I ever shoot in my life, and I'm
100%.
okay with that. And so we took pictures for probably like, I don't even know, 2.5 hours, 3 hours, and like got drone videos and all that, and like, but then we got him right back on ice and stuff, and it was cool that next morning. I think it got down to high 30s, maybe low 40s, so it was fine. But yeah, just soaking in that moment the next day in the daylight with him. Just, I mean, it literally,
it's kind of surreal, isn't it?
It's so surreal, especially when I tell people about it, it's like the feelings that I had after shooting him and finding him. It's with how fast the moment is and everything. It really is not different from shooting, my 126-inch 8-point last year, or the nice 140-inch buck I shot the year before. I mean, it literally is like the same. The spike when I shot when I was 10, like it literally, it's the same. It's funny because it's the same feeling and same adrenaline rush and excitement, but now it's just like, a 172-inch deer. So it's like, it's just so fun. But yeah, it's surreal, like you said.
Yeah, that whole story. I mean, that's where I was just talking about the highs and the lows and being consistent and just having faith that she can get it done. I mean, like, just think of that's like the beautiful thing about some stories like this. And I was talking about in the podcast was that this last week that I was talking about my buck from last year, of all the woes that I had last year too, where it's like, you can never underestimate the big man because you don't know what he has in store for you. And it's not like he's, every time that you pray for a big buck, you're going to get a big buck. But it's like we get tested in so many different ways. And think of how many times you got tested throughout that entire, really, if you think about it, kind of short season. I mean, we're talking like a month and a half. You had a lot of stuff go on.
Oh, yeah, a ton. I mean, and you know what? Like you said, I think too, like, there was probably some overconfidence too with how much I shot my bow, and like I shot like phenomenal during the summer and like at targets and everything, and shot all the time. That's all I wanted to do. And even probably making some like real confident comments to like my brother or cousins, and not even like in a harsh or like super cocky way, but just like, okay, yeah, it kind of came back to humble me a little bit and just be like, you can practice as much as you want, but like, it really, yes, it definitely helped that I practiced as much as I did, but at the same time, like, you need a little luck. You need to calm yourself. You need to go through your checklist, words are huge. And so I think I took that away from this too. Like, I probably need to show a little bit more grace to people too, that when they don't get one, or they messed up and they hit it bad, or something happens, it's always like, oh gosh, like how the heck did you have that happen, like, and it's like, okay, why? Just show some more grace. I mean, really.
And I think we're really hard, not only just on ourselves, on maybe some other people sometimes too, but I think grace is a really good word for it, because it is true. I mean, it is hunting. But at the same time though, too, you said it earlier, and I agree with you 100% on this, where, especially when we're talking about killing big bucks, like, you can't go into a sit unless you're content with that. of like going into a sit where I'm just going to sit. Like I like to think intentionality, like when I go out and sit in the stand, that I'm going to kill that buck. I have to have that confidence going into that sit, knowing that there's a very good chance that I'm going to kill that deer that night. Otherwise, it's not that I'm wasting my time, but it's like I should be somewhere else doing something else. So I think you kind of got to have a little bit of intentionality, what you were talking about, what you did. So I don't think confidence is necessarily a bad thing, but I think grace is a good thing too, because shit happens, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, no, for sure. I like how you put that. I mean, I was ready. Like I said, I was standing up, that last half hour, and I was like, yeah, you're still prepared to get it done and having the confidence. Like, yeah, I'm not just going out on a whim here. Like I'm playing. Once I saw that buck, I knew I had to hunt that spot like hard, but smart. Like my buddy even told me, he's like, you hunt this spot right, and you put in your time there. I mean, if those beans stay up, like, and you put in your time, it's probably just a matter of time. And it really was. I mean, that's
so kind of break down for me, like those, I know we kind of walked through the whole gamut of everything, but just in a short little snippet, just maybe break down for me, like those 3 keys to success for this particular buck that made you successful.
One, I would say, play in the wind. I really think like with this hunt and with this deer, one night before that I did kind of hunt when the wind wasn't great. And I think it was probably like a really good night for deer to show up, and nothing ended up showing up. And I wonder if that was maybe why. I have no idea, but I mean, I do think that playing the wind this time, I mean, clearly it made a difference. As soon as he got down to where he was, like he smelled a little bit and he knew something was up. And so just like being ready to be quick there. But I think, 2, just the dedication and the practice, like knowing your shots. And obviously I didn't have the best of luck this year, but like still being confident. Like I was still confident to take that shot when he was 36, 37 yards, and even quartering to me. Like I still felt really confident. Just like I did feel confident on the last, couple deer. So I think, putting in the time and practicing and feeling confident there. And third one, I mean, I really think that putting the rangefinder down, ranging one spot and then putting it down and knowing like I have to be ready to make a split-second choice, split-second shot, split-second decision. Like I put that rangefinder down, like as soon as that deer took another step, when he stopped for a little bit, as soon as he took another step, I pulled back. Like why I did that, I don't really know, but you make a split-second decision, and those are the things that can really get you an opportunity at a nice buck, or a shot or whatever. I mean, you wait until he stops again, he's looking around, and then he sees you pull back like that,
timing.
It just, the timing of it. And so just being ready, and like I said, just being ready to make a split-second decision and knowing that you can do that. And like you said, you kind of get into that killer mindset, kind of like last year. Like that buck came running, grabbed my bow, pulled back as I'm turning around, come in. Like I had no time to think. I just kind of sink to being a hunter, and just like taking all the knowledge and what you've learned going out years after years, and putting that into play in a what feels like 5-6 seconds.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think with that too, I mean, like, I think when people think of bow hunters, they don't really think of us as athletes, but I like to think that we are, in terms of, think of all the arrows that you shoot in the summertime and all that muscle memory that you're building, but not only just shooting, but understanding your distances too, of where you're constantly ranging things. Like when I'm golfing, I love doing that. I'm just like, how far do you think that is? And I'll guess, and I'll usually be within like 5 yards or whatever that is. And I think with that too, of where it's, you start, especially for that shot you made on that deer, you start breaking down that 2-3 yard different increments where it's, you don't have time to pull up your rangefinder. You have to go with what your gut tells you. And a lot of times instinctively, you're right. Or you just make a better shot, just because you kind of let your body take over that muscle memory. So I think that's a big part in it too.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think, you kind of get into that, like, I mean, I don't know. Joe Rogan would probably be like, yeah, it's because you just sink to that your ancestor, like just that, like
The
you're back
primal
to the
being.
primal days, and
Yeah.
like you got to put meat on the table for the family. Like I don't know what it is, but you really do. Like people that are hunting with longbows and recurves, like
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes even without sights, and it's like what? But
Yeah.
like, yeah, you just I don't know. Sometimes you just know, and I think also like I think when a deer is sometimes I feel like your deer is like your deer. And I think I talked about that before with a buck that I had a couple years ago. Like just the way that all happened and the shot placement and everything, and it was like how that even happened, like directly under me, and like sometimes I think too, like your deer is just like maybe bound to be your deer, so maybe I just got
Yeah.
lucky on that shot too. But like I don't
But
know.
that's part of it. I think there
Yeah.
is definitely is like a combination of, I would say, I really would love to break that down. I would say maybe 60% of it is hard work and time and effort put into it. But man, like when it comes down to it, you got that other 20% of just executing. And then that last 20%, I feel like is always just luck of where
Yeah.
everything's got to happen right. That deer's got to cross that shooting lane that he hope he does or makes that step or whatever it is.
Well,
So
yeah, exactly. I mean, think a coyote could run out. Those does could blow.
yeah,
A bear could be out, like what I had before. Another buck behind him could have showed out at the scrape, and he turns around, sees that, doesn't like it. There's a lot that you're just putting yourself there for a chance, and when you get that chance and it pays off, I mean, that's why it's so. I love duck hunting and turkey hunting, and but it's just not quite as rewarding as a
yeah,
mature deer because it's just like yeah, too many things that have to
yeah.
go right, and a lot of times don't even go right, and you still get lucky. I mean, it's like yeah, that's what makes it so fun and rewarding.
And now you only got to wait about 10 months to see that deer again.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, my buddy is mounting him up, and
Oh,
he
nice.
said he'll have it done before Christmas. So
Oh
I'm
my
pretty pumped about
gosh. What is
that.
this? My taxidermist told me, and I can't call him my taxidermist. I'm thankful that he's doing my deer, but he's not the guy I normally go to. And it was December 15th when I shot mine. So it was kind of the end of the year. Everybody already brought their deer in at that point. And
Yeah.
I went to the only guy that was taking deer. And I got a text from him I texted him in July and pretty much heard, who are you? And what's your deer? Send him a picture. He's like, what's your name? And like, so do you have my deer or not? Because I hope you do, because I already paid you. and then pretty much got told to not contact him again until December 15th, because in his little captioned notes is pretty much like, the deer will be done in a year to the date that you bring it in. So I don't get to see that deer till December 15th, and I'm not going to message him again because I want to get my deer back and I hope it's done. So yeah, that's fun.
Ooh. Yeah, yeah, I will say I appreciate having a good friend,
Yeah.
a best
That's
friend
a
that
good friend to
does
have.
taxidermy. It's awesome. Yeah, I love him. He does a great job too. So he's done quite a few of my family's bucks now,
Nice.
and yeah, my dad shot his on opener last year, and he had him done before gun season.
Man,
So he's a really
you
quick
have to give me his
turnaround.
I will drive to
Shout
Wisconsin
out.
and give him my deer.
Oh, he'll do a great job. Shout out Stitchin' Skulls and Taxidermy, but it's spelled
We will plug it in
STUGGEN.
for the
So
podcast for people can go check him out.
yeah, no, for sure. Hit him up. He's the best. So
Sweet. Well, all I want to say, Sam, is thank you so much for hopping on. Congratulations on Buck of a Lifetime. I hope you kill a bigger one, but man, like you said, you did all the things right. You followed all the things that you needed to do. You kept at it. You stayed true to what you do in the woods, and you just kept at it. And it just shows you that dedication can pay off. No, sorry. Little one said, you finally woke up. Yeah.
oh, that's awesome.
Finally woke
And
up.
then you kill a big deer, and then you get like you come back home and you see like my son, and
Yeah.
and then you realize like that's definitely the biggest blessing. Like
Oh, yeah.
good deer are great. Monsters are wonderful, but like man, your son and wife too, like that's where it's at. So
I was going to say,
really,
shout out to your wife, because she was probably a big moral support for you for those first couple of weeks.
oh, for sure. Yeah, she was bummed for me. And actually, when I shot this deer, she was going back home to visit her family, and she wanted me to come with. And I said, I think I should hunt. So,
Sorry, honey, I'm not going.
yeah, I was, well, that's kind of,
Politely, no.
yeah, respectfully, that's what happened. But honestly, I'm happy I didn't, and she's probably happy I didn't, because now I can spend more time
Now you're done.
with them.
Yeah.
Now I'm done. So,
That's always a blessing. Our wives are always happy when we kill deer early, and that's why I've been joking with my wife. I'm like, okay, I didn't do a big trip this year. I'm like, I kind of putting all my brownie points in these next 2 weeks here. So I'm like, hopefully I kill a deer. And she's like, I hope you do too, because then you're done. So it's like, yep.
Yeah, and now I got like, I got Montana to look forward to. I'm going out for mule deer in a few weeks.
Just really shortly. So you're going out to Montana on a rifle hunt, correct?
Rifle hunt. First mule deer hunt ever.
Nice.
Been a lot of success with my uncles and stuff like that. And so, yeah, we're going to Montana in early November, like that 10th range,
Okay.
for a week. And so I'm just super, super excited about that. Like, my grandpa's got a tag, the one that was there with me,
nice.
and my dad. And so,
Fun.
it's going to be special. It's going to be cool.
Yeah. Well, that'll be a trip you'll remember. And if you can kill a nice one, the double up on 2 big bucks, that's stuff you remember for the rest of your life.
We'll see if I could do the Triple Crown this year and get one with a gun in Wisconsin and a mule deer.
That.
Yeah.
Can't
Yeah. No, that would be crazy. That'd be crazy.
Cool, man. Well, Sam, thank you so much for hopping again. And guys, thanks so much for listening, and we'll catch you next week.
Thank you for joining us on this journey through faith in the great outdoors. We hope today's episode has inspired you to seek God's presence in the wilderness and deepen your connection with nature. If you enjoyed today's discussion, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to the Wild Faith Podcast on your favorite platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. By subscribing, you'll never miss an episode, and you'll continue to be a part of the Wild Faith Podcast community. We'd also love to hear from our listeners, so please don't hesitate to reach out with your questions, comments, or topic suggestions. You can connect with us on social media or through our website. Your feedback is important to us and helps us improve and tailor our content to better serve you. And always remember, the great outdoors isn't just a playground for hunting and fishing. It's a sanctuary for finding solace and spiritual renewal. As you gear up for that next adventure, I pray you find God's presence in the crackling of a campfire, the thrill of reeling in your catch, or the quiet solitude found in nature. Until next time, thank you for listening to the Wild Faith Podcast. Take care, and God bless.